On the outside of the International Space Station, temperatures hit 120 degrees Celsius. Inside, a fragile ecosystem of software controls the oxygen, the moisture, and the life of every astronaut on board. If that software fails, the mission doesn't just end, it becomes a tomb. In 1999, NASA realized their nightmare had come true. A shadow had entered their servers. $1.7 million worth of mission-critical code had been stolen. NASA didn't find a Russian spy or a high-level terrorist. They found a 15-year-old kid in a South Florida bedroom. His name was Jonathan James. To the internet, he was comrade. To the U.S. government, he was a national security threat. But the story of Jonathan James isn't just about a hack. It's about a genius who became a scapegoat for a system that didn't understand him. And today, we're looking at the tragic reality of the boy who hacked the sky. The prodigy in the shadows. Jonathan wasn't like other kids. While his peers were playing tag, Jonathan was dismantling his father's computer. His dad was a programmer and tried to lock the PC down with parental controls. Jonathan broke through them in minutes. By 13, he had deleted Windows entirely and installed Unix. He wasn't just using computers, he was speaking their language. He spent his nights reading source code like it was poetry. But Jonathan had a code of his own. He wasn't out for money, he was out for the thrill. He called himself Comrade, and his hobby was white hat adjacent. He'd break into a massive server, find a vulnerability, and then email the administrator to tell them how to fix it. In the summer of 1999, Jonathan got bored. He targeted the Marshall Space Flight Center in Alabama. He bypassed 13 NASA computers and downloaded the environmental control software for the ISS. When NASA found out, they panicked. They shut down their entire network for 21 days. The code itself was crappy. I was just downloading it to study C programming. Jonathan James. To NASA, he was a thief. To Jonathan, the government was just a bad coder. The raid and the first lesson. 2 months after NASA, he did the unthinkable. He breached the Pentagon's Defense Threat Reduction Agency. He intercepted thousands of internal messages and grabbed the usernames and passwords of high-ranking military employees. In January 2000, the game ended. Jonathan's mother woke him up with a sentence no teenager ever expects. The FBI is at the door. They raided his home, seizing 5 computers and, strangely, his Star Trek books. Because he was only 16, he became the first juvenile in U.S. history convicted of cybercrime. He got 6 months house arrest and was banned from touching a computer. This is where the story shifts. Most people think a 6-month sentence is a slap on the wrist. But for a kid whose entire world lived inside a motherboard, it was a total isolation. His father noticed a change. The light in Jonathan's eyes was dimming. He tried to go straight. He retired from hacking at 18. He wanted a normal life. But the digital world doesn't let you go that easily. The king of credit cards. While Jonathan was trying to move on, another hacker was building an empire. Albert Gonzalez, known as the Soup Nazi, was the dark side of the hacking world. Gonzalez wasn't a curious kid. He was a criminal mastermind. He ran a group called Shadow Crew, which sold stolen identities and credit cards on the dark web. When Gonzalez got caught, he did something Jonathan never would. He became a snitch. He worked as an informant for the Secret Service while simultaneously running the largest credit card heist in history. We're talking 180 million credit cards stolen from companies like TJ Maxx and OfficeMax. Total damage? $400 million. The Secret Service was embarrassed. Their own informant had played them. They needed to find his accomplices, and they needed a big name to show the public they were winning the war on cybercrime. In the server logs, they found a name. JJ. They remembered the kid who hacked NASA, Jonathan James. The final breach. In May 2008, agents raided Jonathan's house again. He was 24 now, grieving the death of his mother and struggling with depression. He told them he had nothing to do with the credit card theft. He hadn't touched a black hat system in years. But the authorities didn't want the truth. They wanted a win. Jonathan knew how the system worked. He had read the survival guides written by other hackers who had been crushed by the government. He believed he was being set up as a juicer target than the actual criminals because of his past reputation. He felt the walls closing in. He felt he had lost control of his own narrative. On May 18th, 2008, Jonathan James took his own life to ensure he would never have to sit in a prison cell for a crime he didn't commit. His final letter was heartbreaking. He wrote, "I have no faith in the justice system. Maybe my actions will send a stronger message to the public." He ended it with 3 words, "I die free." 2 years later, the truth came out. The JJ in the logs wasn't Jonathan. It was a man named Stephen Watt. Albert Gonzalez went to prison for 20 years. The conclusion. Jonathan James wasn't a villain. He was a pioneer in a world that wasn't ready for him. He was a kid who saw the world as a series of puzzles to be solved, not a system to be exploited. The tragedy of Jonathan James is a reminder that in the rush to make examples out of people, we often forget the human being behind the screen. The boy who hacked the sky just wanted to understand how it worked. In the end, it was the world below that let him down. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the history of the digital frontier. I'll see you in the next one.